Welcome back to Free Speech Nation. Comedian Ricky Gervais has sparked controversy with a series of rejected tube adverts mocking London's crime under Mayor Sadiq Khan. His mock slogans included warnings like, "Welcome to London, don't forget your stab vest." Transport for London says the ads were never approved, but Gervais accused decision-makers of censorship and launched a profanity-laced online campaign, even offering fans free vodka. The stunt taps into growing public frustration as London saw over 80,000 mobile phone thefts in 2024 alone. I'm now joined by the founder and CEO of Uncommon Sense, Lee Taylor. Welcome to the show. So, my understanding now is there is an advert for this vodka online. It is funny. I think it says, welcome to London.
Make sure you hold your phone.
Make sure phone. So that's funny. So he gets it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, look, arguably this is all a little bit of a stunt, as well as raising concerns of TfL's policies towards who they choose to have, because they've had some kind of outrageous. I remember there was kind of arguably an Islamist advert of a guy kind of doing this one finger, which means like one god, and burning dollars, but then it's like a jokey ad is being banned.
It is, yeah, and I mean Ricky Gervais he's got his finger on the pulse when it comes to the cultural sensitivities and the culture of the UK, and maybe it was a bit tongue-in-cheek, and maybe it was a little bit of a publicity stunt to get this ad up, but he's got them up now, and I think they're great. I think they're really good. He seems to be. There's not many people, though, doing good ads at the moment. We'll talk about maybe John Lewis, but there's not many people doing good ads at the moment. And Ricky Gervais finally does something good, and then it doesn't go up. But he's got some up now, which is good to see.
I mean, we always talk about our institutions, and we should be proud of them in the UK. But arguably, our advertising industry was one of the greatest and most innovative in the world. And that has definitely gone. They were almost like works of art.
They were, and I think a great professor once said, in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. And the advertising world are just petrified of offending anybody. So they do banal, boring adverts which aren't going to offend the most sensitive blue-haired exec in their department. And so that's the problem, is they're just not doing anything that's good because they're scared of offending people. And then when one guy comes along, Ricky Gervais comes along to try and do something that's good, the authorities say, no, you can't say that.
Well, the example that you just mentioned, the John Lewis ad, I think many people have seen. Have you guys seen it now? Yeah. I think it's a really wonderful advert.
It's great. It's traditional family. There seems to be traditional sex roles. The father and son do a really good job of showing that awkwardness of emotion between father and son. But actually, I think it's deeper than that. I think it shows the dad growing up. It shows the dad putting down his hedonistic lifestyle and maybe stopping hanging around with some dopey friends and gratifying impulsive desires and growing up. And he grew up to burden himself with responsibility, and in the form of his son. And the actors actually do a really nice job of just showing that, look, that was good, but what I've got now, what I went through with you and the family, is so much better. And I think that actually an ad that deep that's done like that, fair play to them. Yeah, we're back in the game.
Well, I showed it to my 16-year-old son, and was like, afterwards, I was like,
yeah.
And he was like, nah. But, you could buy me something from John Lewis. So I guess the job done is there. Do you think that that there are people within advertising who are listening, that we might return to that former greatness of advertising glory in this country?
I hope so, but my hopes aren't high. We talked about the BBC last week. The whole of the advertising world is just as captured as the BBC. You have people in there, specifically creative people, who are like, they're on board with the whole woke agenda. They're on board, they're pushing it. You can see they're pushing the whole climate hoax. They're pushing diverse...
Well, some people think that it's climate real... I mean, I just have to point that out. Let me do my job.
You do your bit. Go on, do your bit. In my opinion, some brands are pushing the climate hoax to try and sell products or scare them into selling products. And
you wrote a piece about Oatly.
I did, yeah. So Oatly, the CEO actually came out and he said, sales haven't been great, their profit forecasts haven't been great, and he thinks it's down to the doom and gloom adverts that they've been putting out over the course of the last however many years.
Essentially, the adverts are kind of like, buy our product or we're all going to die.
Pretty much, yeah. or demonising the dairy industry and dairy farmers for CO2 that they're causing.
I think, by the way, I don't know why you said CO2 with I believe CO2 does actually exist.
I believe it exists, but I do not think that it's
H2O
as poisonous as we're told it is. So yeah, they basically said, look, we're going to maybe change our approach to advertising because scaring people into buying our products doesn't work.
Well, the product, very, very quickly, what you said was just make a good product and sell it at a decent price, right?
That's exactly what we do at Uncommon Sense. We don't try and sell you ideas, we try and sell your product or your service at a good price, and we tell you how good the product is, not what it's going to do.
And ironically, that was a very good advert for your company. So, a spokesperson for the Mayor of London said everyone in London should feel safe and be safe. Backed by record funding for City Hall, the police are working around the clock to catch mobile phone thieves with operations to tackle street robbers, as well as the handlers and organised criminal groups driving criminality in our communities. Last month, the Mayor backed the biggest ever Met campaign to tackle mobile phone crime, successfully disrupting an international major criminal network linked to 40% of all phones stolen in London. Now, a TfL spokesperson said advertisements for Dutch Barn that comply with our advertising policy are running on the Transport network. However, a set of different creatives circulated on social media earlier in the year were not referred to TfL or its advertising partners for consideration. That is the end of the first hour on Free Speech Nation. Don't go away, because there's lots more to come between now and 9 o'clock, including the Police Federation of England and Wales is calling for mandatory psychometric testing. See you in 2 minutes. Bye.